Hey yo guys, what's happening? It's your boy Araine TJ back again with another reaction video, and today we're looking at your boy Diddy. We got some new grand jury issues. Well, the grand jury issues, like new subpoena against him in the traffic investigation, So let's get into it and see what it's about.
A federal grand jury issues a subpoena in the Sean Diddy Combs grand jury investigation, according to a new report. What does it mean for the federal investigation into the rap mogul? For months, there's been a lot of smoke, but maybe not as much fire when it comes to talk about Sean Combs, the feds, a grand jury, sex trafficking, and possible federal charges. Grand juries, of course, are secret, and their work just isn't supposed to be out in the public, but often there are leaks, and that's happened at times in this case. I'll get to the latest leak, this one involving a hotel in Miami and one of Combs' exes.
I didn't know grand juries were supposed to be secret, but okay, that's good to know.
In just a bit. The Department of Homeland Security raided Combs' homes in California and Florida back in March. That, of course, made international news. Before that, women and even one man filed a flurry of civil lawsuits against Combs, claiming Combs trafficked them, and those lawsuits have continued even after the raid.
Bro, can you believe this happened in March, bro? Like the beginning of the year. And my boy, just like not my boy, but Mr. Bad Boy over here, just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was filmed walking around on the beach, just chilling. Him and Stevie J, the same dude who got caught up in the little rod, trial or whatever against him. You know what I mean, bro? Like this is the life is crazy, bro. Like, is this a game? Is this a joke? How is he still walking around? If all these allegations are made and if they're supposed to be true, you know what I mean? Like, how long is it gonna take for a trial or what? Like, what's going on?
The first of those lawsuits came from Cassie Ventura nearly a year ago. She dated Combs for years. Cassie's claims were explosive and included claims that Combs forced Ventura to engage in sex acts with other people for Combs' own gratification, and that he also physically assaulted her for years. But Combs settled that suit the next day. That's practically unheard of. Now, while he may have settled the claims for an undisclosed amount of money the next day, he denied, Combs did, that he had ever harmed Cassie. But then in May of this year, CNN published a terrifying and horrific video of Combs chasing Ventura down a hotel hallway, wearing only a towel. He could be seen throwing Ventura to the ground and kicking her, and he could no longer deny that he had abused her.
Yeah, bro. And you know what it is? You know what it is? He probably was gonna take a shower or something, and she probably saw this as her one opportunity to get out, and he probably heard the door open or something, and my man in his psychotic ways chased her down. You know what I mean? Like, in hindsight, this is all so sad and crazy, bro, that she had to go through all of that. And then he come out with this. Bro, this apology video is cringe, bro. I wonder if they're gonna show it.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was f***ed up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Combs later wiped his Instagram clean.
He hit rock bottom. Yeah, right, bro. You were still a multi-millionaire, billionaire at that point. You was at the highlight of your life, and that was something you was doing behind closed doors. That's not rock bottom, bro.
Including that apology video, and he started posting again just recently. Last week, Combs filed a motion to dismiss another lawsuit filed by record producer Rodney Little Rod Jones. He claimed that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted him and forced him to hire sex workers and to participate in sex acts with those sex workers. Combs denies those allegations. His lawyer wrote, Mr. Jones's lawsuit is pure fiction, a shameless attempt to create media hype and extract a quick settlement. There was no RICO conspiracy, and Mr. Jones was not threatened, groomed, assaulted, or trafficked. We look forward to proving in a court of law that all of Mr. Jones's claims are made up and must be dismissed. Now, the suit filed by Little Rod is just one of nearly a dozen filed against Combs. Adult film actress Adria English filed a suit in July, on the same day that NBC News reported the grand jury was meeting to discuss evidence against Combs. I spoke with English's lawyer, Ariel Mitchell-Kidd.
So in the lawsuit, we pretty much spell out the details of the sex trafficking my client faced at the hands of Mr. Combs at his white parties. So she was essentially sought after due to her relationship with her boyfriend, who was interviewing or I should say auditioning with Mr. Combs for his Sean John campaign. That's essentially how things came about. And initially she was just approached to be a go-go dancer. It was all very above board initially. And then eventually with more time, it turned into being sex trafficked. She was sex trafficked in New York in the Hamptons and then in Miami. And these were all during Mr. Combs's white parties that he was throwing. So we essentially outlined the details of that sex trafficking in her lawsuit. And the reason she came forward now, as you know, a lot of people used to be terrified of Mr. Combs. He's blackballed several people, including my client and her then boyfriend, Mr. Gallo, from the industry. So as we all know, they're straight with numbers. So once Ms. Ventura came forward, my client had been looking for an attorney for some time prior to finding me to also file a lawsuit because she had been a victim as well.
Now TMZ is reporting that the grand jury has subpoenaed a hotel in Miami for records dating back to January 1st of 2008, and that one of Combs's exes, Daphne Joy, is also named in those documents. TMZ reports the subpoena was asking for check-in and check-out dates, room numbers, guest preferences and requests, billing information, email addresses, phone numbers, and forms of payment. So basically, everything you can think of that a hotel might have on file, the grand jury wants to see. Little Rod had also named Daphne Joy as someone Combs had paid to perform sex work in his lawsuit. Daphne Joy vehemently denied that allegation in an Instagram post, which has since been deleted. I reached out to Combs Global about this report, about the hotel.
What y'all think, though, about how Lil Rod was just name-dropping a bunch of people, what seemed to be also without their consent? How y'all feel about that? I think that was kind of crazy, you know?
In Miami and the subpoena. So far, I haven't heard back. Bradford Cohen is a former federal prosecutor, so he knows the drill, and he's also represented a lot of high-profile people. So, Bradford, we have this news coming out about this subpoena to a Miami hotel involving Sean Combs and Daphne Joy. So, why is Daphne Joy being brought into this? We know she dated him at one point in time.
So my suspicion is that she probably is making some kind of allegations, and or they're having her appear before the grand jury, or she already appeared before the grand jury and they're now subpoenaing records to back up whatever she said before the grand jury. So there's kind of a couple different ways to go about it. Sometimes prosecutors will take testimony from a witness, and that testimony would then be corroborated later on from another witness with paperwork or with receipts. Or they interview that individual. She says or he says, hey, I was here on this date. This is what I did on this date. Then they subpoena that information. So when they put that individual in front of the grand jury, they then have the receipts to back.
Wait, hold on, gang. First of all, I like this little Superman he got going on here. But then my real question is, I wonder how long hotels and places like that have to keep their records. You know what I mean? Like, what's the law on that? What's the requirement on that? Do they keep it forever? That's pretty good to know. I should probably look that up and let y'all know what I find.
Back up what that person is saying. So they could say, hey, we had dinner at, this restaurant on this date. And then the prosecutor would say, okay, is this what you had to eat? And show the receipt. Yes. Is that the receipt? Yes. Is that why you remember it? Yes. So those type of things are usually why they subpoena that information.
That's interesting you bring that up, because Daphne Joy had put out something on Instagram a while back denying things that Little Rod said in his.
All right, see, I found here for y'all real quick. Boom. Hotels typically store security camera footage 30 to 90 days, but the exact length may vary. That's a whole link. So you can do the same thing if you use Google. If you use the Google AI, you'll get the links. Factors, the length of time, usage, what they're using it for, overwriting. Right, that's because this is what I was thinking as a tech person. If they gotta hold that footage forever, then they're gonna have to have servers or hard drives and places to store all the data, and they'll have to keep expanding, and like a reputable hotel probably wouldn't keep it all on property, or they'll probably have a backup off-site somewhere or a chain of hotels. That's just how my mind works. So that's what I was thinking, like, how long ago did she say this happened, and they gotta go back and get the records? And then you have industry standards recommend retention periods for hotel security footage, usually dating from 30 days to 6 months. However, specific retention periods may vary based on factors such as legal requirements, operational needs, and the nature of the footage. Okay, so maybe if it was footage that really led to some real serious stuff, then they would hold on to the footage even longer. Maybe that's what that means. I don't know. I was just wondering how long they had this footage for, you know?
Lawsuit that she claiming that she was being paid by Sean Combs to do sex work, and then all of a sudden that Instagram post disappears. So it kind of makes sense, possibly, if she was brought in front of the grand jury, that she might delete that from her Instagram post or her Instagram page. Do you think that's part of the reason why she deleted that? And I guess 50 Cent, who is her, the father of her child, you know, was kind of giving her some grief, saying things about her being a sex worker and things of that nature. We don't know if that's actually true, but it would make sense that she would delete that after denying it if she were brought in front of the grand jury.
So there's, even though that's a simple thing, there's a lot to unpack there. So number one, so, you know, someone makes a statement that says, hey, that never happened. Obviously, defense attorneys jump on that right away. So that statement is forever out there, you know, in cyber world. And the defense attorney will have that in case there is a trial, in case there is some sort of motion that's going to be had. So that's the first part of that. The second part of that is, yes, if she was called in front of the grand jury and she gave testimony that's different than what she was posting, I would imagine she'd take those posts down, because it would be kind of idiotic to keep that post up after she already testified in front of a grand jury. Number two is, it could be that she was then subpoenaed after she made that statement, and just the subpoena alone was enough to scare her to take that down. Or number three, and this could be likely as well, she had a conversation with the prosecutor who's in charge of the case, and that prosecutor, after speaking with her, said, hey, listen, you probably want to take down anything that you have up that contradicts what you just told me, because that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So it could be a couple different reasons why she took it, or it could just be 50 Cent said, hey, you know, get that down. There's a bunch of different reasons. More likely than not, it has something to do with the case and the grand jury.
Well, there's no love lost, we know, between 50 Cent and Sean Combs. I feel like we've been talking about this, about is he going to be indicted for months, because we have. His house was raided, or his homes, I should say, were raided back in March. So this has been going on forever and ever and ever.
All right, it's been going on for a hot minute. We kind of get where they're going, you know what I mean? So as you see, guys, new subpoena against Diddy. It just ain't gonna end. So maybe that's why the trial ain't come yet, because more people keep coming, so the trial's just getting more and more, well, the potential trial is getting more and more complex. So I don't know, but it's crazy this is still going on. Thanks for watching today's video. If you like the art to the side, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Have a good day, everybody.